What's up, guys? Good morning. Happy New Year. Like I said, 2024 is the year to get big. It's the year of the growth. So I'm going to take you through my training, through hypothetically what a pro would take in a growth phase, and my nutrition and my supplementation. So this is the nutrition part, basically the blueprint I'm laying down for you so you can exactly see what I'm doing, what I'm eating, how much, at what time, and how I am structuring every day from now on until, you can't say that because everyone out there knows in bodybuilding there really is no prediction. You can't say I'm doing this for 12 weeks, I'll be doing this for 6 weeks, I'll be doing this for 4 weeks. You set up a plan, see how it works, and then adjust accordingly by the progress you're making, hopefully. So since I've been doing this for 20 years, I pretty much have a good grasp on what I'm doing. So this nutrition plan I've set up here for myself should work. It should work. Of course, in conjunction with the right training, that's a different video, with the right supplementation, another different video, and the performance enhancing drugs. So right here, this is how I've set up my nutrition. I get up in the morning, guess what? Everyone gets up in the morning. I do my 30 minutes of cardio. So right now it's 30 minutes. This is the off season, this is the growth phase. 30 minutes is all I need, and I'm getting that done. Have a coffee, take a shit and all that. And then I don't have a solid breakfast. I immediately have my shake, my pre-workout drink, if you want to say that, if you want to call it that, and an intra-workout drink. And this is how it's set up. So meal number one is the pre and intra-workout drink. That's every day. So the ingredients and the macronutrients might vary, but the ingredients are always basically the same. It consists of a carb powder, which for me, my carb powder of choice, because it doesn't affect my digestion at all, it just digests like water, is clusterdextrin, highly branched cyclic dextrin, or whatever you want to call it, clusterdextrin, by my sponsor, Big Zone, big-zone.de, Code REX10. And some sugar, sometimes. I might throw in a couple gummy bears or something like that, just because I like them. But they are also calculated into the amount of carbs that I'm taking in. The next ingredient, it's actually two, is obviously a protein source. And the protein source consists of a hydrolysate, PeptoPro for example, so casein hydrolysate, an isolate, for example, whey protein isolate. I always go with the neutral flavor, also by Big Zone, and essential amino acids. Right now I'm choosing the bulletproof EAAs, also by Big Zone. And now I mix those up together. The pre-workout drink is most of the time 2/3, so like 66% of what I would have spread out for this training session overall, when it comes to carbs and protein. So right here it says 75 to 150 grams of carbohydrates and a total of 60 grams of protein. That goes for the pre and the intra in total. Now, this is a very wide range here because depending on what body part I'm training, it varies. Also depending on how much volume I'm doing, it varies. So let's say I'm doing something like chest. Doesn't obviously take as much glycogen as a quadricep workout would take. So for chest, I might go with 100 grams of carbs or 75 grams of carbs. For quads, I might go with the full 150 grams of carbs. And yeah, I hope you get what I'm trying to say here. So the pre-workout drink, let's do the 100 grams of carbs scenario, or let's do the 150 grams of carbs scenario. Let's go straight in. Let's say I'm doing legs, all right, and it's the pre-workout drink. So I would be mixing up 100 grams of cluster dextrin together with Pepto Pro or the isolate, depends on what I'm choosing that day, flavor wise and all that, yeah, and EAAs. So pre-workout drink, 100 grams of carbs from cyclic dextrin, maybe a couple gummy bears here and there, but you know, and then it would be a 50-50 mixture of the full spectrum protein and the aminos. So let's say I'm going with 20 grams of protein from the protein powder, about 10 grams of protein from the essential aminos. That would leave me with 30 grams of protein for that session that go into the intra-workout drink. The intra-workout drink then goes into a big jug of water, like at least 1.5 liters. That would be the remaining 50 grams of carbs plus 20 grams of EAAs. I only have EAAs while I'm training. And then post-workout, I add 10 grams of glutamine straight into my mouth and flush it down. So that's the total of 60 grams of protein. 20 grams of protein powder before, another 10 grams of EAAs, 20 grams of EAAs during, and after 10 grams of glutamine, 60. So, and like I said, 100 gram and a 50 gram portion of carbohydrates. So the meal post-training is immediately after training. I have a solid meal, not another shake, and it is a low-fat protein here, about 70 grams. I'm mostly going with either white fish, egg whites, or chicken. I'm not choosing steak at that point because I want something that digests really quickly. So 70 grams worth of protein of that, plus 200 grams of carbs. About 200 grams of carbs, give or take, but basically 200 grams of carbs. If I'm doing that really clean, it would, for example, be 250 grams of rice cakes or 250 grams of regular rice, 250 grams of cereal, whatever. Just simple carbs that don't bother you, that don't wreck your digestion, that just go straight in. You could also drink 100 carbs and eat another 100, but that's what I'm doing, 200 grams of carbs straight after training. And at this point, I could also add, that's why the red star is here, you could also add some sugar. So sometimes I add some sugar here and there. You know, with, let's say I'm doing a cream of rice that digests really quickly, and I add a little bit of jam or I add some raisins or something like that. So basically, but it's 200 grams of carbs in total with the 70 grams of protein from fish or egg whites. Yeah, sometimes I make pancakes of egg whites, rice flour, and then jam, something like that. The next meal, it's about 2 hours later, meal number 3. Same macros, making it for myself really easy in the beginning. Same macros, 70 grams worth of protein from one of those sources. At that point, I like to choose either chicken or steak, red meat. Obviously a very lean red meat, about not more than 4% fat, 70 grams worth of that, and another 200 grams of carbs, which would that be either gluten-free pasta or just rice. Basically, most of the time it's rice, because I just put the rice in the rice cooker and be done with it. Then, another 2 hours later, the next drink is coming up, which is basically the exact same that I had in the morning here. So, depending on what I'm training, between 75 and 150 grams of carbs in total, pre and intra, and then 30 grams of my protein and amino acid mix with the pre, and 20 grams EAAs during, 10 grams of glutamine later. Oh yeah, and I also add creatine to each one of those drinks, about 10 grams each. I hit the training session, then we go with meal number 5, exactly the same as meal number 2, 200 grams of carbs, 70 grams worth of protein, boom. And meal 6 is exactly the same as meal number 3, another 200 grams of carbs and 70 grams worth of protein. That will be my setup for now. 4 solid meals, 2 shakes, or 4 shakes if you will, and the macros are all the same in the 4 meals, and more or less the same in the pre and intra drinks. Like I said, it depends on the body part I'm training and how much volume I'm doing that day, all that stuff. So this would give me at the most 200, 400, 600, 800, 950, 1100 grams of carbs to start my diet out, my mass phase out with, my growth phase. And I'm gonna take it up from there. And that's either gonna be adding a meal, adding extra carbs to those meals, preferably around training. Yeah, that's either or. And for protein, we've got 4 times 70, that's 280, and then 2 times 60, that's 400, about 400 grams of protein from real protein sources. I do not count the protein from the carbohydrates, although that is a lot considering the fact that I'm eating 1100 grams of carbs. So in total, it might come out to be 500 grams of protein per day. But like I said, real protein is only 400. And that number doesn't go up anymore, really. You know, because if I'm increasing a macro, if I'm increasing calories, it is always, for me, in my experience, the best to increase it in the form of carbohydrates for maximum performance and maximum muscle gains. Now, you might ask, what about vegetables? Okay, I've considered that. I'm doing 50 to 100 grams of vegetables. Basically, I choose vegetables that don't give me any digestive issues, like spinach, tomatoes, carrots, like that. 50 to 100 grams with each of those meals, the solid meals. Obviously, I'm not putting any vegetables into the drinks, yeah? And I'm not adding any added fats. I'm not gonna do that. It just fucking slows my digestion down. I might, in the end, when I'm really, really high in calories and I need another bump, I might add like 1 or 2 whole eggs to this meal, but not right now. Right now, it's just lean protein, easy digestible carbohydrates, easy digestible vegetables for fiber, and that's basically it. A lot of it. Yeah, that is the nutrition that I've set up for right now. That works for me. I hope you can take something away from that. And watch the other videos, the one about training and the one about supplementation. I don't know if I'm gonna do it. Yeah, probably. And the one about gear, if you're interested in what a pro bodybuilder would hypothetically take in a growth phase. So, if you have any questions, put them in the comments down below. Thank you very much for watching. Hit subscribe and all that good stuff, you know it. And see you in the next video of the Blueprint series for the growth series. Before I forget, guys, one thing that I forgot to mention. As I said in the beginning, you can't really predict what is going to happen. You just go off the improvements you're making or not making, and then you adjust the diet accordingly, or you adjust the whole plan accordingly. If this changes in some way, shape, or form, I will inform you on the series with either a separate video or in the series itself. So stay tuned to what is going to happen. This, like I said, is the phase 1, so to speak. And yeah, subscribe and you will know.